Hello and welcome to Come With Us, a podcast to meet all your fantasy needs. I'm Sussy Nunez.
And I'm Reshea Kelly. And each week we dive into the tempting world of books, seductive romance, and a sprinkle of spice.
Hi, Sinner. Welcome to episode 23 and 24 of Come With Us, your favorite podcast. I'm Sussy Nunez, your favorite Latina host. And this year, I am very grateful because I'm another year older. I'm getting, I'm the granny side of things right now. And I'm so
granny
excited.
side?
This is actually a joke from the previous episode because Sara Cate wrote Maggie as a granny. No life, like that.
Yeah. Also, the fact that it was like the first one praise, the age gap was 43 or 41 and exactly. 22. And then when it's a reverse age gap and the woman is the older one, the only age that an older woman is still considered desirable could not be over 35. Gag me, right? At that point, you're the only hot women over 35 are Helen Mirren. End of sentence.
It's insane, but yes, I'm a year older and I'm excited about that. I'm very grateful that this year, these past 2 years, I get to meet you, and we created this, and then I don't know, life is nice. It's smiling at me in many ways, so I'm excited. Thank you, sinners, because you actually made this year special too. So it's almost a year though that we have this podcast, almost.
I know, so close.
Because we started during summer.
And this week, I know I wrote this like a month ago because we haven't been filming for a while, but it still rings true. This week, I am grateful for Joe Arden and Lucy Rivers, the audiobook narrators of Butcher and Blackbird. Can I tell you a little story time about that? So if you have listened to the audiobook, it starts to get spicy around chapter 17, okay? Also, if you have a joint Amazon Prime account with certain people, they also can see all of your Audible happenings, right? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't you love if I'm just in the middle of doing my day and my husband calls me and goes, all right, yeah, blah, 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 I'll let you get back to listening to chapter 17 again. And I was like... What? Me? Oh. Because absolutely I listened to that chapter on repeat 100%.
We need to definitely do an episode on that book because we have it already. We're going to do it.
I did myself a service by listening to the audiobook before having read the book because I didn't have any like preconceived notions of what the characters sounded like in my head, okay? Mm-hmm. I actually had very little knowledge of what this book was about at all. Other than that they were serial killers. That's all I knew.
And honestly, that is so hot. I'm sorry, but it's so hot. Like the whole thing about the book, them being, phenomenal. Go ahead.
It's like if Dexter was hot and funny and not a sociopath, but
that's
like
what I was thinking the whole
time. All I'm saying is I did myself a service by not having any preconceived notions going into the audiobook because then now and forever and always, Joe Arden and Lucy Rivers are my two favorite audiobook narrators ever because they broke that mold for me of, an audiobook narrator is like evening news light. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm,
like, hello and welcome to CBS Evening News. Do you know where your children are? Like, there's one bit that has me.
Strokes, my cock rolling over that piercing with every pass, making me feral with want. I'm flooded with her scent and her raspy moans, her pulse as it surges against my palm, the side of her body beneath mine, the feel of her cunt gripped tight around my cock. She's everywhere, in every drop of my blood, in every spark of thought, and I want to fucking destroy her for it, to shatter her just like she's broken me, because she brings me to my fucking knees. I want to ruin her so that she's mine, my beautiful disaster, my wild creature, my goddess of chaos. And I fuck her like that's exactly what I'm going to do. I rot into her hard.
Like 45 seconds the spicy chapter. Yes. Listen, hear me out. Yes, he is talking about fucking her. Yes, he is talking about, and I fuck her like that. Listen, the thing is, the emotion that they imbue into their words to where like Lucy Rivers does this amazing thing where she can, like, you can hear when she's trepidatious. You can hear when she's feeling cynical. You can hear when she's confident, and you can hear when she's like a little bit like flirty and shy. And then like Joe Arden can do this amazing thing, like where he, like, his voice almost breaks and you're like, you want to cry because it sounds like he's about to cry. And anytime there's a man crying, I can't handle it and I cry. And then you're also coming because it's a sex scene. So like you're crying and having an orgasm at the same time. And it's a weird mix of emotions.
Promise that we're gonna do an episode on this book because it's so good. I remember when I read it, I was like, "You need to read it, Reshea!" And I'm glad that you actually, you know what? I'm actually glad that some of these books that we're talking in the future, specifically these ones that we're gonna do today, you did the audiobook and I did the reading, and we can. When I read something and I hear something, two different worlds.
Yes, absolutely.
Two different worlds. So I'm excited for this. Let's do this!
Last week we were talking about Mercy, and then the week before that we were talking about Praise, books 1 and 3 in the Salacious Players Club series by Sara Cate, and we are still going. We're trucking along, right? This week we're covering Eyes on Me and Give Me More. If you haven't read them, that's okay, because I'm here to give you the worst possible explanation of all time. Are you ready? Eyes on Me. It's about a 36-year-old Garrett Porter, part owner of the Salacious Players Club and voyeur, who hasn't had sex in about 10 years, but loves to watch other people have sex frequently. He downloads a new cam girl app and opens it to find his little stepsister, 23-year-old Mia Harris, who we come to know is an exhibitionist. But it's not weird, because, the author makes sure to point it out at least 50 times that they didn't really grow up together, and he never thought about her like that before. Garrett can't figure out why all of a sudden, after paying $450 for his little stepsis to masturbate on a private stream while he lied about his identity, he sees his sister as a sexual person and a grown woman instead of just his annoying little stepsister. He decides that the only way to figure out why he's thinking of her differently is to go to the family summer getaway at the lake house with her and her parents. And this is where he pursues those feelings for her with minimal reluctance. And then he never tells her that he was the anonymous patron for her cam girl business, and that was the one that she was confiding in and falling for also. So she's falling for this anonymous patron, and she's falling for her stepbrother, and she's like, oh no, what do I do?
I mean, she has been in love with him for like forever.
They're like for real. Like, well, I mean, with her stepbrother, she had like a crush on him.
Yeah.
So the book is really towing the line of ethically okay. That's a bit of an understatement, but I will say the spicy scenes were, it was hotter than a me in church.
That book is my favorite because of the spicy scenes. From the whole series, that book is the best. Oh my God, it's so good.
I will say the spicy scenes are my favorite of all of the series spicy scenes.
Yeah, that is my favorite.
Susie, do you think that maybe they are our favorite because we may also possibly maybe be exhibitionists?
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah.
So, like, we like it because they speak to our personal...
That part of the brain that is not allowed to do a lot, but we wanted it to do a lot. That.
Can you please explain to me what the kinks/tropes are in this book, Eyes on Me?
These ones are...
Just for our viewers and our listeners' education.
Yes. Voyeurism, exhibitionism, age gap. Like, I think this is a real-ish age gap because he's 36 and she's like, what, 21, 20?
22, I think. Because she can drink legally.
Yes. So 21, 22, whatever. Forbidden romance, because, they're step-siblings, so weird. And she is a virgin. Honestly, I don't love it when books do virgins. But this one, it was a nice touch. In my opinion.
I kind of, anytime somebody's like, she's a virgin, I have to in my head be like, but yeah, like the Madonna virgin, where she's like not really a virgin
Yeah.
because I
She
can't.
hasn't been penetrated, maybe, but she's done everything else.
Please don't say the word penetrated. Well, didn't know I hated that word till just now.
She hasn't been fucked, like properly fucked, but she has done everything else.
Also, for those listening out there, just because you've had sex doesn't mean you've been properly fucked. Anyways, Susie, can you explain to maybe our newer listeners, people who aren't as experienced, what exactly voyeurism and exhibitionism is?
Voyeurism, you like to watch. You like it. You don't have to be involved. You don't have to be in the sauce. You just want to see the sauce do the thing. You know, exhibitionism. It's you like to do things, and specifically sexual things or like nude things in public. You like people to see you. You like to be exposed.
I feel like we were reading Losers when I was like, I think maybe I'm an exhibitionist, but even in those books, it wasn't like
100%.
It wasn't let's put on a show for people in public,
Mm-hmm.
or let's just like go right off the hiking trail with people walking by.
Oh my God, that scene was so good. Yeah,
We'll get there. But this book, you are so same for me. 100%. Good Lord, what have I unlocked, and how do I get my partner to agree to do it with me?
Yeah, because that's another thing. Women in like the experience that I have, we are more into that than men.
You think so? Oh, you know why? I guarantee you, it's because men are so afraid that somebody's going to tell them that their dick is unimpressive.
You have a small dick. The dedication for Eyes on Me, my favorite book from the whole series, it's for anyone who wants to feel truly seen. And can we just talk about that? She says to feel truly, not like you just want to, people to see you. No. To feel truly seen. And if you actually know about this world, voyeurism, exhibitionism, you know that these are the right words to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I feel like a lot of the times for people who don't understand exhibitionism, I'll say it's not about, oh, I want everybody to see my goodies, or, oh, I've got such a great body, I want everybody to stare at it.
No.
It's about the adrenaline rush that you get from being so vulnerable and exposed, right? And to have yourself be able to be that vulnerable and exposed and not be hurt or shamed or otherwise negatively impacted by it, right? And that also happens when you're in relationships. Vulnerability with your partner or even with a friend or a parent, like those things are scary, and it creates an adrenaline reaction even if it doesn't involve sex. So I think she nailed this because it almost somehow encapsulates why exhibitionists are exhibitionists and why voyeurs are voyeurs. Because voyeurs aren't just voyeurs because they want to watch people fucking. They want to see people in their most vulnerable state. They want to experience.
They also the intimacy. Like vulnerability is part of the intimacy, because if you're intimate with someone, like we're talking about the actual term of intimacy, not just being naked with one another. Everybody can do that, but like the intimacy, those like complicit looks, those touches that you cannot do with everyone because you have to be so intimate with that person. That is, in my opinion, why voyeurism is like so special when it comes to kinks, because it's something that you don't have to touch, just see, and it's art. If you think about it, it's art.
Oh, absolutely. Susie, what made you want to read this book?
This one specifically I liked. So this one is book number 2 from the whole series. So the first one was Praise, and I liked Praise. I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was fun. Could have been better, yes, but I enjoyed it. And then on this, I mean, we gotta be real. This is a podcast about books. We're not here to lie. We're not getting paid yet to lie. So yeah, until we get paid,
like to sponsor us, let us know, and then we'll lie about whatever you want, baby.
whatever. So I read the first one. It was okay. I was like, okay. And then honestly, I don't know if it is because of the porn or what the heck, but the step sibling thing gets me every time.
Really? Like, you like it?
Yay!
Alrighty. Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Honestly. And when I saw that this is a book about step siblings, and when I was in my teenage years, the smut that I used to read was step sibling almost all the time. Yeah.
Where were your parents letting you shop? I'm just curious.
Phone. Everything was on my phone.
Oh.
Everything. Oh yeah. You gotta be smart. You don't want your mom to read the titles.
Good point.
Yeah. What about you?
I'll be honest with you. If we're being frank and not poetic here, we had decided to talk about the whole series. So I was like, gotta read it. Because I enjoyed Praise. I did. I didn't devour it and like need more the way I do with a series that is not, these are like connecting standalones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't make me want to be like, oh my God, I have to read the next one to know what happens.
Yeah, because it's not like the praise ends with, we know that something's happening with Garrett on the second one at all. It's just, this was the story and that's it. You don't have to read the next one if you don't want to.
Exactly. Yeah. And my ADHD was fine with just fucking off to something else.
But you're like, we gotta commit for the podcast.
For the podcast. But yeah, I'm glad that we decided to do the whole series because
I know you have strong opinions about the last ones.
Boy, do I. Boy, do I. Tune in about a month. Anyway. But I don't know. I think because I don't think it's the fact that it's interconnected standalones, because I read Butcher and Blackbird, a standalone that it's the first in an interconnected trilogy that hasn't even come out yet. And I'm fucking hooked. I am hooked because...
Cannot wait to read that too. Ugh.
Why is this episode almost about Butcher and Blackbird? It was brought to my attention that apparently the step-sibling category on most porn sites is a thinly veiled incest category. They throw the word step in there because actual incest porn is illegal. So they throw the word step, but for all intents and purposes, it is for people who want to watch incest porn. And that gives me the ick because we don't condone incest in any situation, especially one where there is such an age gap. Okay?
Yeah.
This is not that Brady Bunch spinoff. The Brady Bunch, the mom and the dad were single, and then they married each other. So the three girls and the three boys were step siblings.
Yes.
And the oldest girl and the oldest boy kept like fucking.
But they're not related.
I know, and it's funny because they were already that age when they started living together. So like putting two hormonal the difference is they were both two hormonal teenagers that were like, hey, we've never known each other before, but she's hot and he's hot, and now we're living together. We're definitely gonna fuck, right? I don't care if our parents are married. He was a fully grown adult when an 8-year-old joined his family.
But he didn't live with her and he didn't see her sexually at all.
I know, but then I'm like, so then why did you start seeing her sexually? It's
because
weird.
he saw her on a webcam. It would be like, honestly, it's hot. I would definitely,
it is hot, but morally, I was at odds with myself. So I just had to kind of like,
what are you talking about morals in this podcast? Is we talked about people getting fucked, people getting killed and being fucked with that blood. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I hear you. I do. I hear you. You make a valid point.
We love a great character, moment. I understand your point. I totally get it. I do. And I agree with you on the...
Some things give you the ick,
Of course. And I agree with you on this is for people that want to, see or watch incest. I get that. I totally get that. And I 100% don't allow it. But again, when I used to watch porn, I haven't watched porn in so long, for like 3 years already. When I used to do that, first of all, I was a teenager. Yeah. My imagination is better than porn, baby. Much better than porn.
Hold up. Sorry.
I know. I get
Did
that
you
reaction
say-
every time.
Did you say 3 years?
3 years. Yeah. Yeah.
And you just use your brain
Yeah.
waves? Can you see pictures with your brain, with your eyes closed?
Movies.
That's the difference. I have, what's it called? Aphantasia. I can't make pictures with my brain at will.
Oh, really? How do you read then?
I mean, it sounds like it's like an audiobook.
Oh, no, I do. I see the whole thing while I'm reading it.
No shit. I'm so jealous.
I do. I thought it was the same for you because with ADHD, if I didn't have
No.
that, I couldn't be able to read.
No, that's why I was in a reading slump for 12 years.
No way. This is fascinating. Because when I
Yeah.
read, literally, I start a book and I start like the characters and the descriptions that they give me, I start building my own characters and stuff.
I can dream about it when I'm unconscious, like subconsciously, unconsciously, I can picture things, or I can have intrusive thoughts that are pictures, but I can't like close my eyes and have somebody say like picture an apple and me just like imagine an apple. It's just black.
Wow. So visualization for you is like not a thing.
I mean, I thought for the longest time that everybody understood it to be more metaphorical than literal. And then people are like, no, like I legit can close my eyes and people be like, visualize a beach. And I'm like, and you see like an
I
actual
literally see
beach?
it right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, wait, ready? Visualize a beach?
Mm-hmm.
Black, nothing.
Why would you do that? Oh,
don't
because
see
that's how
anything.
you see it. Because that's how you see it. Okay, okay.
I don't see anything. It's legit the inside of my eyelids.
Wow. Fascinating.
I was
But yes.
dropped as a baby, so.
Let's continue because wow, this got personal. Okay, I get your point. I understand. I do know that. I get that it's creepy. The thing is that for me, when I used to watch, those videos before, and when I used to read those books, it was very important to me that it was clear that they were not siblings. Like, definitely had to be our parents got together, and maybe they're divorced now, but we always liked each other. And like, yeah, you cannot be siblings.
Yeah,
Ew.
you definitely don't want like the country of England's royals situation going on where they're
No.
all kind of
By the way,
coming out a
there
little weird
was-
looking.
heck no. And the mental health that like it's not there. It's always
because
bad.
you're missing parts of the gene pool. Moving
Exactly.
on.
No,
Let's
but
talk
before we
about-
move on,
Wait,
before
yes.
we move on, there was a book that I read. I have to look for the name. There is the only book, the only one that it's incest-ish related.
Okay.
I read it so long ago. I have to look for the name. If you guys are watching this and you know this book, please let me know. It was so controversial because, of course, it's siblings, but they were like the parents for their siblings, not because they had the kids, because their parents didn't I don't remember if they died or whatever. And they actually, did the whole growing up with each other and all of that. And they worked together. And I think they died together because they couldn't be together.
Oh shit. There's
don't remember the
a girl, there's a woman on TikTok that's like, let me explain to you how I ended up married to my brother. And to be fair, to be fair,
you're lying.
Her mom and her dad got divorced. They each took a child. And then they didn't move away from one another, and they just kind of stayed in the same area. And then when she was in high school, she met this guy, and she's like, "I feel a connection to you. Everything's great."
Your siblings, of course, you're gonna feel a connection.
It was her fucking brother. She found out because they met each other for some reason. The parents met each other. They were like, "Oh shit, that's my ex-husband," which means that's my daughter or son, whichever, vice versa. They found out the truth, and then she was like, but we loved each other. So what would you do? And I was like, I would walk away 100% because that's
is it weird that I don't know, maybe Oh my God.
Don't you fucking be on her side. Don't do it. Susicle the musical. I'm telling
Listen.
you right now.
Listen, you're allowed to be with whoever you want, just don't have kids.
Yes. Okay.
Don't
If
have
you want to
kids.
be fucking weird like that, sure. I'm not
Don't have
yucking
kids.
your yum. I'm simply asking why. But yes, do not have children. Do not procreate. But I
That's
do
it.
think she has a son.
I'm traumatized a bit because I think it's because of that book that I read so long ago. I feel like you
Was
can
it
be
Flowers in the Attic? Oh, okay.
no. Mm-mm. I have to look for it. But you can be with whoever you want. I really don't care. And if the other person is of age and they're happy and they want you to, fuck yes. And they're, they can consent and stuff, and you too, great. But definitely don't have children, because that is gonna, it's just not gonna
100%.
work. And you're gonna make
Genetically, you're fucking them up.
Exactly. Let's continue. So
All right.
that is weird for you. 100%. You're like, not my thing.
Not my thing. I had to kind of disregard it every time it came up, and I kept getting annoyed when the 50 million times that the author wrote in there. I don't understand. It's not like I never thought about her like this before. I'm like, I get it. Okay, we can move on now. We get it. You feel guilty.
I understand where you're coming from, because she did like reiterate it a lot. She did. But I understand her too, because you want to like tell the reader, this guy is not a creep. He, like he likes voyeurism.
It's the legalese of it all. It's like let me make sure I'm not going to get sued for this shit. Let's reiterate. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was a creep-ish for like from society's point of view, because he likes to watch and all that. Yeah. But like that type of creep, he's not. And she wanted to let us know that he's not.
He was a consensual creep. God damn it.
And mira, like, listen, even the Latino side came out. Mira, Mia wanted that. Mia wanted him so bad.
She did. And that was the one redeeming thing that like made me be able to continue. I knew
you were going to say that.
Was that she honestly, and that's how I feel about anytime there's a power imbalance dynamic in relationships, whether it's age gap or what have you.
Same with praise.
Yes, as long as the person who is
in the disadvantage.
At the disadvantage, the underdog, the person who doesn't have the power over the other person, as long as they are the one who is encouraging everything and it's not through manipulation, then I can be okay with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
All right, let's talk about how Sara Cate talks about and depicts depression and anxiety and all those negative feels that Garrett had.
We talked about before how this is my favorite book from the whole series because of the smut, but the way that the author gave me a 180. Oh, no, is it 180?
Yeah, 180.
360? 180.
360 puts you back where you started.
Yeah, so 180. The 180 when she's like, he has depression. He's been dealing with this for years. And we didn't think about that. And he disappears. When she said that he disappears, I was like, that's me. I disappear with depression every time one of the episodes are really rough. And I saw Garrett, and at the same time as my psychological brain is like, I understand his character so much. Why he likes to watch. Why maybe he hasn't had sex in years. And like, it's perfect. I loved it so much. What about you?
Same. I felt, especially in the throwback scene that she put in there to
the party,
the night that he actually ended up hurting himself.
Yeah.
She did a really good job of showing that a lot of times people are in that negative headspace and they don't actively want to kill themselves. They don't think things through all the way, but that depression creeps into every facet of your life. And somebody who seems like, oh, they're making poor choices, oh, they're hurting other people, oh, they're just being assholes. It's all symptomatic of unchecked depression, and it's all a cry for help. And it was really eye-opening to see somebody go through that and see how when it wasn't taken care of, how he just pulled himself away. And I think a lot of his voyeurism comes from a lack of wanting to develop meaningful connections with other people.
To be involved in someone's lives, because that takes time. You don't know when you're going to disappear. And I say this by experience. Having friends takes time because you have to nurture the relationships. You have to be there. You have to talk. You have to communicate. And it's not a have to thing. It's that you want to be. But sometimes you cannot. You just don't have the energy. You cannot be there. And it's a whole thing. So the fact that he watches, because it's easier to just watch and not get involved.
Shaming sex workers. In the book, they talk about how Mia deals with a lot of, oh, what are you doing with your life? Because she feels like she has to hide the fact that her line of work is sex work. Because apparently that's shameful.
Apparently it is, but if you think about it, it is. Like, when I was reading that book, I have a lot of friends that are in that world, one way or another. And when I was reading the book, I saw I felt like I was reading my friends' lives in so many ways because they're proud of what they do. They love it. They enjoy it. They actually do it because they don't have a pimp. They are their own pimp. They love it. And they're their own boss. And it's something that they have a good time doing it. But when it comes to family or businesses outside of this world, you gotta be so mindful of what you say, who you're saying it to, how you communicate things. And basically, if people don't have to know, it's better. So I understand Mia, and the way the author made everything around that subject was great. Like how she wrote everything, I think it was great because that is true. We can have friends that are prostitutes maybe or sex workers in any way, and we'll be fine with it. We're actually going to be like, I have a friend that is sex worker. Like, we love her.
I've got a friend who's a stripper. She taught me some new moves. I'd be so proud. I'd be like, girl, ow.
We are proud of that. But most people, and when I say most people, I mean literally 99.9% of population is not going to be like us.
Yeah.
So I understand Mia.
Yeah. I do too. I think in a more evolved society, we will get to a place where people realize that sex work is work, that selling your body is no different than giving 10 hours of your day in a cubicle. Or people talk about like giving your lives for the military, like, oh, I died, or they died in combat, or they lost a leg or whatever. But nobody talks about the fact that like somebody spends 10 years in the infantry and suddenly their knees are shot and they've shrunk an inch because their spine is compressed from carrying 75 pounds on concrete all the time, and they're wearing hearing aids at 30 and things like that. Like you're selling your body to the government, but that's more noble. I think a huge part of it has a lot to do with the fact that most sex work is done by women. Name a time in history where a woman has touched something and it hasn't been villainized by the mass public. Fucking never.
If we talked about these baits on the Bible, everything started with, Eva, because she's the greatest sinner, the first one. And we are always going to be tainted because of that. And because the world is actually based on a Bible. Even if there's so many religions with different stories, the Bible, the Christian Bible, this story that we have there in the Western world is the
Abrahamic
one that
religion,
yeah, that's the one that actually matters here. And
well, that's
world.
That's because Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Muslim, Islamic, Christianity, all those, we could get into politics and all that stuff, but like those, especially Christianity, have been responsible for colonizing and conquering and all of those things and forcing their beliefs on other people for
all in the name of God.
Of it.
Yeah, and they did all of that in the name of God.
I mean, every single religion, though. I saw a video today where a woman was like, "This one religious leader taught me that life comes through understanding and enlightenment, but he also taught me that women block your path to enlightenment." I learned from MLK, Martin Luther King, that, you know, everybody is worthy of whatever, but women are still first and foremost a sexual creature for your pleasure. And like, it doesn't matter whether you are Christian or Buddhist or Islam or Hindu or whatever. The men that lead these things constantly villainize women. And then what's dumb is that sex work exists because men need sex work, because they need and they desire women to perform sex work for them. And then when we capitalize on it, then we are vilified for it.
I have this theory about why men, most of men, like society in general, society is dominated by men. Why they hate women so much. And it is because if you think about it, if you really think about it, we can do everything. We only need the semen to procreate.
Oh, for sure. Did you ever watch Boy Meets World?
Yeah.
One of the first episodes, they have like dress what you want to be like when you grow up. And Topanga shows up and she's in a toga. Listen, it's 6th grade. I don't know why I haven't watched that show since I was a literal child, and this scene sticks with me. And she says, "I am the leader of the world. We all live in harmony, and we keep all the men underground and bring them above ground for breeding purposes only."
We love each other. If you think about it, women can be so bisexual if we want.
Yeah.
We can be with women only. But
we can fulfill each other emotionally
in
as
so
well
many
as
ways.
Physically.
Yeah. So if you think about it,
I mean, people have talked a lot about like, oh, the matriarchy is just as bad as the patriarchy. No, because the patriarchy views in an up-down situation. So like, who is above me? Who is below me? I treat the people above me with respect. I treat the people below me with disrespect. And I am looking for the approval and recognition of the people above me. And I am bestowing approval and recognition on the people below me. And this is the direction that anything goes transactionally in a patriarchal society. A matriarchal society.
That's why everyone is so driven by money. Because money gives you a status and you want to be up. You never want to be down.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, well, a matriarchal society would be just as bad because it would be women controlling these things. Matriarchal society is not the opposite in that women would be the one calling the shots. A matriarchal society is opposite in that instead of thinking, what do I have to gain and what do I have to lose, we look horizontally. Sorry, hit my key.
The whole time I was thinking this.
we look horizontally. We look to benefiting one another. We look for the common good. We look for more egalitarian solutions. We are more like, I do things that are kind because why wouldn't you? Not because it would benefit me to do so, you know?
Absolutely. It's our nature.
It's so funny that this sex book took us here.
I literally was thinking right now, this podcast got really deep really fast.
Should we just cut all that out?
Maybe. Let's see. Let's continue. What was it?
The parents were just fine with it? Like they didn't have any issues?
So I understand the mom because she's someone that I don't know if you saw it that way. But while I was reading, she had a lot of guilt towards Garrett and the relationship with him, and how she handled the dad situation and him being, with her only. So I understand that she's like, okay, if you're happy with this, I will give it to you. Like, I don't care. So I understand her. Now, me as dad,
I think the opposite of you.
Really?
Yeah, because Mia was so young that Garrett's mom viewed her as a daughter. Like it was not, she was 8. This isn't my husband's daughter from a previous marriage. It was, I raised her. This is my daughter. And now my son and my daughter are fucking. How is she okay with this? How is she not even a little bit like, no. No, there needs to be another set of grandparents that I can compete against. Like, what is happening right now?
When Mia got there, Garrett wasn't even sleeping there. So I think she, like me, she's able to see the difference between this is my daughter, but not his sister.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if you understand.
if somebody were to say to me, this is how I thought of it, is that's my son and that's my daughter, but they're not siblings, I would have to be like, okay. But
You are not letting this go. She's like, I read this book. I love this month. The whole time I was thinking, they're not related. They're not related. They're not related.
I can't do it. I have to. Like, it weirds me out. Anyways.
It's okay. It's okay. But yes, it was interesting. I really thought that the dad was going to be like, oh, no. But no, he was okay with it.
Also weird. Very not like your typical dad.
A bit, but if you think about it, I love those two reactions because those are their lives. What you have no deal doing that. Like, literally, you're going to die faster. You're gonna die at some point. They deserve to be happy.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. I'm saying it was weird for me, but also not illegal. So
not at all.
Yeah. All right. What was your favorite spicy scene from Eyes on Me?
Honestly, all of them were great, but I have two.
Okay.
And when I say all of them were great, I believe all of them were great.
All of them were great.
Oh, I have two. The one with the temperature play when they're in the kitchen in the house, that he's doing the ice cube. Oh my!
And the parents could like come in at any moment.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, whoa! It was wow.
Oh, 100% yes.
When she forgives him and she does the anal plug and all of that.
Oh
yes.
I forgot about that.
Oh my gosh, that was great. Honestly, and not only that she did an anal plug on him, not only that, everybody was watching. Everybody. Oh, it was so hot.
How happy was I, if those of our faithful listeners can recall, when we were talking about the Losers Duet, my gay neighbor was like, you're telling me that you expect me to take your dick up my ass, but you're not willing to reciprocate? And I had to accept it because Manson was a dom. He was a master. You got to accept it. The way she was like, oh, you want me to put a butt plug in my butt? Then you better be willing to put a butt plug in your own butt. And I was like, yes, queen. Absolutely.
It's just so, honestly, I know the step-sibling, whatever, but that relationship is so fucking hot. Like she just get him and he just gets her. It's just perfect, really. What about you? What were you like 1, 2, 3? I don't know how many scenes you liked.
There's one. Listen, the kitchen scene was amazing. Loved that. The one that sticks out to me is the blowjob while they're hiking.
Oh, really?
So hot. Like, that was about it for me. Like, everything else was great, was fine, was like, I loved it. But like, the thing that had me like thinking like, I need to 100% try this right now is like, let's go hiking and then let's just fuck off like 30 feet off. Not super far. Like, I still want like a gotta stay quiet or else, like, oh, so hot. Also,
I love that,
dude. Considering the fact that she had like never like done it before, A+, Sara Cate. Good job. No notes.
Okay, now that we're talking about her being a virgin, any thoughts on that?
I was okay with it this time because so in the context that you and I have spoken before about like a virginal main character, it has always, in our limited time, been in the context of like a fantasy novel. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like this like virginal 17-year-old saves the day and she's never experienced life before, but she's got it all figured out. This was different. Like, I was able to like work around it just because it was more of like an informed decision to not have sex, as opposed to like, oh, I'm too young to have sex, and now here I am falling in love with the first guy who's my first and only option.
I think it was perfect for the book because I liked the dynamic between them and all of that. But at the same time, I loved that she was a virgin with so much experience too. That it makes the reader realize that you don't need to have sex to know about sex.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like, for me at least, I don't have to have ever been an exhibitionist and done exhibitionist things to know that it's something that I would like, because I've fucking learned about it by reading a book.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on Garrett being blonde?
Well, I used to be a firm no blondie, but then I watched Jujutsu Kaisen and Nanami has my heart, so whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, I know.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, same. Honestly, if I have to choose someone from the whole series, it's always gonna be Garrett and Mia as a couple. I want them together for me. But now when we move to the other book, it's definitely gonna be Derek. Like, if I have those three people in a
Another
relationship with
blonde.
me, oh, I
Another
know.
blonde. You know what? Blondes
know.
are only bad news in fantasy novels.
Tumbling, you scarred us so bad. That is your favorite one, besides the Ice Cube one. If you have to choose another one, which one would it be?
When he's leaving or she's leaving, when one of them are leaving at the end of the weekend, and I don't even think, I mean, they're just like making out and stuff, but like the parents are like right inside and they're just like, goodbye, whatever. It was hot.
I'm gonna make that a clip. I love it so much.
If anybody's curious, yes, that is how I kiss in real life.
I had another question for you about this book, but because they never talked about this in the book. But I don't know if it is the same for you, but when I read books and we don't have like a 10-year vision, a next year vision, I always create it myself based on what I read.
Yeah.
So based on what I read, I think they are poly, 100,000%. What are your thoughts on that?
I can absolutely see it, because an exhibitionist and a voyeur can't be expeditioning and voyeuring, just the two of them together. Like, you got to have a third party involved at some point. And they say not like a polycule situation where like they're all in love with one another, but like they're the main couple. No. They go and they can fuck around here and fuck around there, and then they've got like some spicy friends that they can just like get drunk and like do stuff with, but it's mostly them too. Yeah.
I feel like it's let's go to the club tonight. I want to watch you with her. And that type of situation, but not like we live together, open kitchen table type of poly. Definitely not.
More of like a free love situation.
Definitely, because they both are like that. Okay, if you have to choose a favorite character, which one would it be?
In Eyes on Me?
Yeah. By the way, the name, heck yes, of the book. Eyes on Me.
A+, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I would say Mia.
She's phenomenal. I want to be Mia so bad.
The way that she has the self-confidence that she has. I think I love her so much because she has self-confidence, which is
it's 100% so hot. Like she taught me so much. Even though she doesn't know, because she's a fictional character, she taught me so much. Like, I learned so much from her character, specifically in the confidence and like how to move yourself in sexual settings where there's a lot of people that are only watching you. So sexy.
Yeah.
Heck yes.
How would you rate this book?
Yes. This book I will give 4.5.
Ooh, yeah. All right. A+.
It helped me. I loved when books, maybe the story wasn't like, oh my God, life changing, but I loved the depiction of the depression. I loved the sex work depiction, and I
Mhm.
also 100% was on with the. Oh my god, did I forget? Everything that I learned from her perspective, as
Mhm.
we can be sensual, we can be this, and it's just you don't read that type of confidence in books, especially with the
Yeah.
female characters, and I loved that. What about you?
I gave this a 2.75 out of 5. And it's not because I hate it. It's just 5 is a very low number, so it's hard to show the nuance of it. So I liked
You said
it. I
you said
just didn't
2.7, right?
2.75, like 2 3/4,
Okay.
almost 3 out of 5 stars. I liked the spicy scenes a lot. I struggled with the step sibling thing.
I think
Just
that's why your rating is like low because
absolutely. It was
yeah.
so integral to the story, and it kept getting brought
Yeah.
up, and like, no, it's okay because, no, really, it's okay because, and I was like, make your stand, okay,
Mm,
and then just let it go. Don't keep coming back to me and being like, but did you get that it's okay though? Like, enough.
yeah.
So I think that's what killed me in this book. But dear God, the spicy scenes really.
Oh, great.
All right.
Okay, that was it for what was the name again of this
Eyes
book?
on Me.
That was it for Eyes on Me. Definitely read it if you're like into this, because if you are, you're gonna get a kick of it. Really, like you feel the scenes, you feel like you're actually watching the people and all of that. So do it. If it doesn't bother you, like Reshea, that there are step siblings, this is the book for you because I'm telling you, it is so hot.
Because you can't get enough of us. Go ahead and follow us on @ComeWithUsPod on all socials. Be sure to find all the links for Come With Us at comewithuspod.com and leave us a 5-star review. And if you like this episode, please send it to your fellow smut lovers. We would love you forever.
Please go and review this podcast.
Get
5
it
stars.
together.
Thank you. We love you. Do it right now. You just did
Do you
it.
need us?
Woo!
Do you need us to threaten
Great.
you with punishment? Is that the kind
Do
of
it.
people you are?
Do it.
Don't make me come over there.
Oh, stop my panties! I literally just took a shower. What are you doing? Now I have to take it again. Okay.
My bad.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. All the links are gonna be on our website, or if you go to our socials, the link, everything is right there. Sinners, you've been good little angels. We love you so freaking much. And remember, stay wicked, stay wild, and keep reading. We love you. Bye.